This is everything I read in 2025. Welcome back, everybody. Hope everyone's starting off the new year good. I wanted to go ahead and recap everything that I read in 2025. This will be a little bit longer. I won't try to take too much time on these. And maybe if they fit with what you're looking for, you'll pick one up, give it a read, and we'll talk about it some more. So let's dive right on in. 30 books, 30. It's a lot more than I thought I was going to read for the year. I am pleasantly surprised. I'm more surprised, though, by the smaller stack right there of books that I started and didn't finish. We should probably talk about that. It could be like an ADD thing. I think it is. Without further ado, let's jump in. I read. I'm a big fan of Truman Capote, or at least I thought I was, based off of In Cold Blood, which is one of my top three novels of all time. Top three or top five, maybe. So I thought I'd branch out. I had read Breakfast at Tiffany's years ago, and I wanted to try his very first work, which is Other Voices, Other Rooms. This is a very strange story. A young boy that's kind of abandoned and is told to go live with like his aunt in the deep south. It's basically a it's supposed to be a little bit of a what's the word I'm looking for, a satire on the south. Also, Truman Capote was gay, and I think it has a lot to do with being gay in the south. And Truman Capote's the book was kind of all over the place. Not a real linear storyline here. It was very confusing. The ending was confusing. The whole book was kind of muddled. I didn't really enjoy this one. To be quite honest, luckily this was his first work, and it came across that way. Didn't really enjoy that one. Um, Uniquely human. Autism is part of our society now. Me and my wife, we have a 5-year-old nonverbal. My son is nonverbal autistic, and it's difficult. It's a challenge on a daily basis. And I'd heard about this book, Uniquely Human, a different way of seeing autism, and it was really good. I'll probably do a review on it. It's it lends you to look at it a little bit differently if you don't understand what it is, or you think you may know what it is. You probably don't. You should probably read up on it a little bit, and it will help you see those living on the spectrum in a different light. So I would recommend this one if you know someone who has autism, or a family member that maybe has a child with it. This can definitely help. It's hard, being a parent of a of one of these children. So this can definitely help you out. Definitely recommend it. Oh man, earlier this year, Dune by Frank Herbert. Dune is one of the godfathers of science fiction stories, and I'd seen the movies first, and then since I am one of those, I've talked about it on this channel that likes to compare movies to books and books to movies, that kind of thing. I've even done a video on why we always think the books are better. And it's a pretty cool breakdown. If you want to check out the video, I'll put a link in this one. But I was not prepared for the flow of this novel. This novel is about 98% dialogue. This thing reads like you're reading a movie script or a play script. At times, the back and forth dialogue was dizzying, to say the least. The first third of this book, I didn't know if it was going to be for me, to be quite honest, and I thought it was going to end up in that stack down there of books that I started and didn't finish. But I stuck it out because I'm a nerd and wanted to add to my nerdum, and I really enjoyed it by the end of it. The What changed in it was, since it was so dialogue heavy, there's a lot of drama, a lot of politics drama going on in this, and you eventually fall into the flow of the novel, and it becomes very good. It is what everybody says it is. It's fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. I really enjoyed it, so much so that I read the sequel which is right here, which we can jump into now, which was Dune Messiah. Now, we just talked about autism, my own peculiarities. Sometimes the sizing and format of the book actually takes away or lends to add to the reading experience for me, and this was one that it took away. I have larger hands, but this book is tiny, and I really don't like when the paperbacks don't bend right. Anyways, I don't like the way it's put together. But the book, this was better than the original. Dune Messiah is better than Dune. The drama kicks way up in this one. It's really good. It's better done. It's better than Dune. On my to-be reading list for 2026, which I'll have a video coming out next week, I'm going to list Children of Dune, and we may try to read another one of the Dunes and jump back into the series because I do miss this and want to get back into it. So I highly recommend the Dune series. Definitely check it out if you're looking for some science fiction. Alan Watts, The Wisdom of Insecurity. Every now and then, I like to read some self-help books for mental health, mental clarity. I have, I think I get pretty anxious. I'm a pretty nervous person, and looking into that, it's helpful. I mean, who doesn't want to be a better person, right? So every now and then, I like to pick up a self-help book and read a little bit of it. This was one of my favorites, Alan Watts, philosopher, spiritual teacher, notorious alcoholic that eventually ended up killing himself. But that's neither here nor there. He does have a good message. This is a really good book, and it can help you out if you're having a hard time. One of my top 3 novels, easily, of all time. I have read John Steinbeck's Travels with Charlie in Search of America 4 times. The 4th time was this year, and it always gets better. There's not a lot of John Steinbeck that doesn't get better for me each time I read it. There was only one that's in that list over there, that stack that I'm going to do a video on that I wasn't enjoying as much this time. But Travels with Charlie in Search of America, John Steinbeck's ability to, he makes the where the story is taking place is the main character a lot of the time. So there's a lot of that in here, but this is really a memoir of his. This isn't so much a fictional story. This is more of a memoir when he's already been a famous writer, and he goes out one day with his poodle in search of America and wants to see America and goes on a really long road trip. And seeing the country through his eyes was it's really good. He puts it only the way he can. I can't recommend this book enough. If you're looking for something truly Americana, John Steinbeck's Travels with Charlie in Search of America. Blake Crouch is Dark Matter. I just kind of broke this one down. This was included in my top 5 books of 2025. I can't recommend this one enough. If you've just come out of a really slow burn or something that almost puts you to sleep and you want to get that spark for reading, pick it up. Nobody writes like this. This guy's writing is unlike anybody else's. It is ultra fast-paced. It is a whirlwind. I ripped through this book in 2 days. I know I mentioned on the last video, but I even snuck away when I was on a family vacation and left the kids and wife at the pool and went back up to the hotel just so I could finish it. It's fantastic. Fantastic. Interdimensional space travel, butterfly effect kind of stuff. Can't recommend it enough. 5 stars. Check it out. But I also read Blake Crouch's Pines, which is book 1 in the Wayward Pines series, and this one did not do it for me. It's the same kind of writing style, so they're fast novels, but the storyline has so many holes in this one. I did a video on it. I could blow this one out of the water if I wanted to. I did not enjoy it. This was a stinker for me. And I have some Blake Crouch on my TBR for this year, and I'm hoping it gets more back to that Dark Matter feel because Pines was a big miss for me. The Art Thief by Michael Finkel. If you're looking for a quick and easy read, that is a nonfiction that reads like a story. A true story of love, crime, and a dangerous obsession. That's the best way you can put this novel. This novel is about a guy who ended up being the most prolific art thief in history, was stealing stuff in broad daylight. Literally could not help himself. And never could. And it just goes on and on and on. And the ending, shocking, somewhat tragic, but not in like someone dies, no one dies kind of thing. Check this one out. It's not long. You could read this in a day or two. Highly recommend it. It was very well done by Michael Finkel, and the story is just it's very very interesting. I definitely recommend The Art Thief by Michael Finkel. Sphere by Michael Crichton. Michael Crichton, Jurassic Park, right? Congo. And that's what I was thinking with this one. I remembered when I was a kid seeing the movie, and I didn't remember it. I know that, oh man, now I can't even think of his name. I'll post a picture of him here when I do the editing. But I like him in a lot of movies, and I knew it was creepy alien kind of stuff, so I wanted to check it out. This book was a miss. All this buildup, all this like alien stuff, and I don't want to give away any spoilers, but what the alien or otherworldly being takes the shape of, and what ends up being like the main antagonist, is kind of dumb. The ending is really dumb. This was a miss. I wanted to read Jurassic Park. I want to read Congo, but I'm scared because if they're like this, there's no way Jurassic Park can be like this. I hope not. Sphere was a big miss for me. And perhaps which brings us to the biggest miss of the year, and hands down, I know writers are artists. I try to give everybody that kind of respect. I really do respect the writing process. I'm a writer now, 90 something percent of the way through my first novel. I know what an undertaking it is, but something like this, that's one, that's not much of an undertaking. And two, I Found Puppets Living in My Apartment Walls by Ben Farthing is a huge piece of shit. This book is terrible. Everything about this book is terrible. The writing in it is terrible. The flow of it is terrible. It's I think and it could be my fault. I think this might be meant for like a middle school audience. I hope and pray that it is. I think it is. I mean, look at the front. I wanted something that was fun, refreshing, a little bit horror-y, weird. So I found it because, I mean, look at the cover. The cover is awesome. I love Muppets. So when I saw the Muppet, I was hook, line, and sinker. But this book sucks. This book sucks. I'm sorry, Ben Farthing. It gets back to you, man, but do better. This was a piece of shit. I think you knew what you were doing, too. Like, this is a big piece of shit. Midnight in Chernobyl by Adam Higginbotham. This book is terrifying in the best way possible. This goes into the untold story of the world's greatest nuclear disaster in Chernobyl. There is a great HBO series out recapping that disaster. This book is absolutely fantastic. I can't recommend this one enough. It breaks down nuclear fission and fusion, whatever. It breaks it all down in very clear layman's terms that the book does not talk to you like you're a 5-year-old. It talks to you like you're an adult, but it breaks it down in terms you can understand. So you can actually understand what caused that disaster and the scale, magnitude, and repercussions if that thing did not get under control. This is it's very well done. It's terrifying. It gets deeply, deeply depressing about halfway through. I did say that in my review of it. This book will depress you just from the absolute suffering that the people that were around it ended up going through. But I do recommend this. Stoner by John Williams. Top 5 or top 10 novels I've ever read. I know I've said top 3 a few times now. This is definitely top 5. This is a wonderful story about just a guy. But it really points out the beauty of a normal life. It's so well done. The prose in this book are fantastic. It's eloquent. It's romantic in the way that it reads and the way that John Williams put this together. John Williams' Butcher's Crossing is going to be on my 2026 TBR just because this book was so well done. This is one of my favorites of all time. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The format, though, whoever did this to this wonderful piece of art, like look at this. They cram it all in there. It runs off the pages. Whoever did this should have a fine or never be allowed to print again. But this is a 5-star book. This is a 10 out of 10. This is great. John Williams, Stoner. I highly recommend you pick it up. Definitely check it out. Oh boy, we're going to get into Stinkerville here in a minute. Graham Hancock's Fingerprints of the Gods, a nonfiction going into what Graham Hancock says is his theory about, or the Younger Dryas theory or whatever, about there was a greater civilization pre-Ice Age. There is some very, very interesting stuff in here. But the way Graham Hancock kind of put this together, it didn't read well for me. Some of the stuff is like super debunked. Some of this stuff is way out there. And you know when you see somebody that's trying too hard to do something that they're not talented at? Can't wait for the comment reply on that one. This is it. His theory is not his theory. He's just become famous because he's buddies with Joe Rogan and he's on the Joe Rogan podcast. And he gets to talk about a lot about this stuff. He also did a Netflix series. I think he's just pumping his ego with some of this stuff. I know this was around, he wrote this before his fame, but I think that was his ultimate goal and he got it. But I did not enjoy this book at all. It was not enjoyable to read. It was the formatting of the book, the wording of the book. There is some very interesting theories in here. This was just a miss for me. If you want to check it out, go for it. I received a lot of backlash on my opinion on this book, but they're opinions. If you don't like it, I don't give a shit. So let me know what you think on this. And then, I can't wait for the comment reply on that one. The second biggest stinker of the year. So the first was The Puppets in the Walls. The second one is Between Two Fires by Christopher Buehlman. Once again, absolutely badass cover art. Look at that. It's badass. The book sucked. It had a good flow to it, but it picked up in places. It was kind of all over the place. It was, if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, the whole Arya Stark and the Hound kind of story going through that series, this is it. It's the same fucking thing. I will say that Christopher Buehlman did a really good job researching like the plague, medieval Europe, the plague and everything like that, because unless you took a history class on it, some of this shit is going to be over your head. He did a very good job. He put in a lot of work. Like I said, I give writers a respect. You got to respect the work he put in. It does come off in here. You can tell it. There are some cool parts in the story, like some science fiction, fantasy stuff. That's pretty cool. But it's just like the chapters don't lead into each other. The story's kind of all over the place. It was kind of stupid, cheeseball-y. Big miss. Story, 1 out of 10. Cover, 10 out of 10, which is what's selling copies. Probably should have got a glass of water. Tripped by Norman Ohler. Nazi Germany, the CIA, and the dawn of the psychedelic age. Norman Ohler does a great job talking about the history of LSD, and it's very interesting. And he has a personal note in here, about his mother with Alzheimer's. So he ties his personal experience into the story. It's not a long read. It's very well done. Highly recommended if you're looking for a quick nonfiction and you like World War II era stuff, or you're just into psychedelics and how they work and benefits on the human mind. You'll definitely like this one. To a God Unknown by John Steinbeck. Another one that just gets better and better and better and better and better. The Salinas Valley is the story in this one. There are characters in it, but the real character is the landscape and the elements and nature. This is one of the finest books that you'll ever read. If you don't think so, you shouldn't be reading or sharing your opinion. I know I just said everyone has opinions, but I don't know who would not like this book. This book is a classic, absolute classic masterpiece in literature. Fantastic. It's going to have a lot to do with ego, pride, vanity, God, religion, turning your back on religion. It's tragic in this. It's everything. It has it all. Romance. It has it all. Romance. It's up there. It's a winner. Not very long, but I'm telling you, it reads a lot longer than it looks. So be prepared. Another nonfiction, The Man Who Killed Kennedy, The Case Against LBJ. This was pretty well done by Roger Stone with Mike Colaiuta-Pietro, making the case that LBJ had some kind of involvement in the JFK assassination. They did a very well job with the research in this, and if all that research is even a fraction of the way true, he definitely had something to do with it. I really like the 60s. I like the JFK conspiracy, Camelot, what have you. If you like that, if you like politics, if you like mafia stuff, this is a great nonfiction for you. Great conspiracy. It's a really good theory. I would recommend this one. Not highly recommend it, but it's worth a read if you like that stuff. In Cold Blood, Truman Capote. This is the book that got me off of my ass and got me writing my own novel. It's brilliant. The Truman Capote's ability to put you in a scene is second to none. He's one of the best that ever does it. He basically created the nonfiction genre with this novel. This novel follows the murder of a family in Kansas. It's a horrific murder. They're all tied up and shot in their home one night. It's a tragedy for a small town. He covers it. He covers a small town. He also covers the point of view of the killers, which gives you a very intimate view into what happened in that house, which can be a little troubling. It's not overly depressing, surprisingly. It's wonderful. And there is an excellent movie adaptation called Capote with Philip Seymour Hoffman, who was absolutely an incredible actor. I highly recommend both of them. This is a classic. If you're into reading, you need to check this one out. If you haven't read it, check it out. I know I had this one as second on my top 5 of 2025, but it's probably tied for first. I was researching last night when it's going to come out on, because there's a movie adaptation in theaters now, when it's going to come out to be streaming, and just the trailer alone almost choked me up. Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, a novel of the plague. What this is a Hamlet origin story. So Hamlet, the famous play by Shakespeare, this is the origin of that, how that play became a play, and also a little bit of a Shakespeare origin story. This book has it all. Romance, lots of romance, good romance, Wonderful, wonderful scene building. Maggie O'Farrell, I said in the review, does the best job of finding small things in everyday scenes that allow you to I kind of had a brain fart. You recognize that too, and then you can like see where she's going with it. You really feel like you're there. It's tragic. There's a lot of grief in this one. This is going to get very heavy. If you're a parent, it's going to get extremely heavy. And the ending to this is just wonderful. I cannot recommend this one enough. 5 out of 5 stars, 10 out of 10. It's one of the best novels I've ever read. And there is when the movie comes out, like I was telling my wife last night, like it's going to be you need to have the Kleenex ready. This one's going to get you in the heartstrings. Justin Cronin's The Ferryman. I really enjoyed this one. This was a recommendation by a subscriber. So again, thank you, because it led me to want to read more Justin Cronin. He has a pretty well-known science fiction trilogy, The Passage, out there, and they even did like a TV show about it. I haven't seen anything like that. This is wonderful. Wonderful prose in this one. This is ethereal, deep, intelligent. It's a like a dystopian, utopian future. There's some have and have nots. There's reincarnation aspects of this thing, future, time travel. It's a wonderful story. Definitely check it out. Look into it a little bit more if you're looking for that. And yeah, check it out. And now, I know this is getting long, but it's going to be a long video. So if you don't like it, fast forward it. This is the Stephen King stack from this year. I like to read a novel and then go to a Stephen King novel. Stephen King is like my safe space of reading. I just like the way he tells a story. It feels comfortable. I think a lot of people that don't read Stephen King, or if you've never read a Stephen King and you think, I don't want to read a horror novel. I don't know why they classify his books as horror. There's some scary shit that happens every now and then, but it's not like a slasher movie or anything like that. None of it is terribly grotesque. There are some scenes in it that are kind of gross. But overall, they're more psychological thrillers, suspense, just awesome storytelling. 11/22/63. This was my number one read of 2025. This is easily one of my top 3 favorite novels of all time. Again, a 60s thing, a JFK thing. I know. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. But time travel. So your main character finds a portal and goes back in time. They go back in time to change the world via changing a watershed moment or a big moment in history, and which one was bigger than the JFK assassination. So they go back in time, your main character, Jake Epping, to stop the JFK assassination. This book has it all. Mystery, suspense, the time travel, adventure. There's also an awesome love story. I'm a sucker for a love story. Hopeless romantic. I like it. It's good. It's good. It gets the emotions going. And the ending of this is a perfect ending. I think this is a perfect ending. When I closed the last page of this book, I was like, all right, Stephen King. So I can't recommend this one enough. Oh boy. And the novel that led to the biggest backlash in the comment section of any video I have ever made or anything I have said online. Stephen King's Dune McKee. Well, I'm going to rile some feathers again. This was a stinker. And let me reword it. The last third of the book was a stinker. The first 2/3 of the book are awesome. The characters in this one are awesome. Yeah, Edgar Fremantle and what was the other guy's name in it? Wireman. Their relationship was awesome. I loved it. I loved the story. I loved where it was going. And then it seemed like Stephen King just didn't want to put the time in and rushed the shit out of this novel. Didn't know what direction it was going to go in. So you had like a haunted ghost ship, and he was doing the paintings coming true, and then there was this weird house and things coming to life. Like, what the fuck happened in the last third of this? Just not good. So I didn't like it. My most recent one, and this was when I was having, this was in the big gap kind of. I was always putting out a video a week, but I started having some real problems with my eyes. I'm still kind of having them, just not to the extent that I was. Uh, this was 4 Past Midnight by Stephen King. This is a series of short stories. Uh, so you got The Langoliers, Secret Window, Secret Garden, The Library Policeman, and The Sundog. I didn't finish all of this. I have read The Langoliers, which I loved. Great. Definitely check it out. Secret Window, Secret Garden. There is the movie with Johnny Depp. It's fantastic. But this, if you read one of the things in here and you want to compare the movie to a book thing, Secret Window, Secret Garden. If you've seen the movie but not read the story, you don't know the story, because the ending, it's not a little bit different. It's two different fucking stories. Secret Window, Secret Garden is completely different, the book, than the movie. Please give it a read. I'd love to discuss this one at one time. Maybe we can do like a live thing with all the Stephen King fans and talk about it some more. But it's worth checking out, and kind of breaks them up into shorter stories. I heard that The Sundog is a prequel to Needful Things. So I haven't got to that one yet, but I'm going to. Which brings me to Needful Things, the book that was way longer than it needed to be. This one's about a creepy kind of antique store owner comes into town, and he has exactly what you want, but you can't afford it. But he'll make you a deal. You're going to owe him a favor, and he's going to give you what you want. And it's going to be the thing that you've wanted the most in your entire life. Then he ends up turning a whole town against each other, and some crazy shit happens in this one. The town goes bonkers, chaotic, suspenseful. I really liked the characters in this one. Again, Stephen King with his character work is great, but this book was way too fucking long for what it was. The ending was kind of cool. Kind of gets science fiction-y, and with what the shop owner ends up being. So I would definitely recommend this one. Definitely, I liked it. I just thought it was entirely too long for what it was. Revival by Stephen King. This is a sleeper Stephen King novel. This was a Half Price Books find in the Stephen King section. There's a musician that's dealing with some addiction stuff, and then he had a really good relationship with a preacher when he was younger. The preacher had a terrible loss. This is going to deal with like death, questioning religion and fate, the afterlife. The afterlife. Stephen King in the ending of this gives you a glimpse into the afterlife. And that's what makes this book so terrifying. If the afterlife is what he says it is, we are all in some deep shit. So Stephen King puts this one like only he can. I definitely like it. I wish I could give this a better description. The priest, I guess, ends up becoming a little bit obsessed with trying to get his dead family back, and he maintains his relationship with the main character that becomes kind of a drugged out musician, and he helps him through his drug addiction. So they kind of become like partners, but it's like a love-hate relationship, like a Professor X, Magneto kind of thing going on. This one is really interesting. This is a sleeper Stephen King. Definitely check it out. Cujo by Stephen King. I didn't think this one was going to be that good. This is a phenomenal novel. This is one of the heaviest books I have ever read. If you are a parent, buckle up, because it's rough. It's heavy. It's going to follow a couple of main characters that you're going to have in it. There's a really good relationship story on here between a husband and wife. If you are married for a long time, you can definitely relate to that story. It's really good. It's really well done. Like Stephen King can. This is one of his classics. There is a dog running around rabid with rabies, fucking people up. And then eventually the mom and son get trapped in a car in the barn by the dog, and shit gets wicked. Wicked. So get ready. I recommend it, though. I highly recommend Cujo. Pet Sematary. A lot of people say that this is Stephen King's best work. I disagree. I could not disagree more. I thought it was good. I thought it was the most depressing fucking book I have ever read. Ever read. This is the most depressing book I've ever read. I was traveling a lot too for work when I was reading this and reading it on flights, and I was just like, I can't even read this anymore. Um, this book is going to deal a lot with grief. It's going to deal a lot with just dread. There is an overwhelming, from the moment you start this, dreadful atmosphere of this book. It's really good though. It's really fucking heavy. Maybe that's why people, now that I'm saying it out loud, that's probably why people think it's his best. This book will hit you hard. Um, the ending is fucking crazy. Definitely check it out. It's worth a read. It's Stephen King at his finest. I'll give you that. And the last two are more Stephen King at his finest. The Shining. When I first started reading it, I didn't know if I was going to be able to read it just because of the writing style. He was way all over the place in this one, but that's what this is about. I'm not going to go too much into The Shining. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what it is. Guy, trying to get over alcoholism and kind of an embarrassing job loss, takes a job as a caretaker of a haunted hotel. Doesn't really know it's that haunted until he gets up there, starts losing his mind. This book's going to deal with isolation, addiction, jealousy, rage, the overwhelming weight that can come with being a parent. And yeah, man, it's something else. Again, this is another one where the endings are two completely different stories. I don't know why somebody can't do a Stephen King movie based off of a book and do it any fucking justice. They just don't. They either cheese. It was good. Okay, now that I say it out loud. But yeah, like even the like 11/22/63, like that was a stinker. That was only like a mini series. The Shining was good, really, really good. We watch it a lot, at least probably once, twice a year. We revisit it here at the house. It's a good one, but the ending's completely different. But this is worth a read. And last, but certainly not least, and this was my first video book review, and I went back and I looked at it, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, so I'm definitely going to be redoing it. Stephen King's It. This is, for me, this is his finest. It hasn't gotten better than it. It takes place in two different time frames. One in the past, around the like late 50s, 60s, with a bunch of kids, and then it follows them again as they're adults, and they've been dealing with an evil entity that takes the form of a clown. I'll probably get a lot of backlash for this too, but the new editions, like the new renditions of It, like the Welcome to Derry series, and the movie with the Hasgard or whatever as It, they suck. If you like it, that's because you're probably younger and just don't know any better. But they're goobery, cheesebally, like they're the bulbous head kind of thing with the It. That's not how it's described in here. The original It, the movie, was pretty spot on. Like with this, there are scenes in like the new one when I tried to watch it that weren't in the book. Like it just sucked. The book is where it's at. The book is where it's at. I think this one can actually be classified as a cosmic horror, which I've heard thrown around as like a subgenre of horror. There is horror in this one. There's some fucked up shit that happens in this book. And then there's elements of like interdimensional beings and way out there shit. It's heavy. It's awesome. Yes, Stephen King will go on some side tangents here that go on for fucking ever. But he does that. But he really, really goes off on some in this one. But it's still brilliant. The ending is weird. And I don't think people talk about. I know it gets brought up every now and then. If you've read the ending to It, there's a scene that's just downright fucking inappropriate and weird and makes you feel uncomfortable. And I don't even care if that's what he was trying to do. It's not okay. And I don't really care about like, people's like artistic, whatever they want to do, but some shit is fucking completely inappropriate. I think it's completely inappropriate at the end of the book. And it grossed me out. But the book was still overall really good. I thought the ending was really good. Could have just completely, he probably should have gone in a different direction with that scene. I'm not going to get into what it is. If you've read it, you know what it is. That's all 40 minutes. It's a long fucking video. I doubt anybody will watch all of it, but there it is. So coming up, what I'm going to do is I'll go over that stack down there of about, I don't know, 10, 15 novels that I started, did not finish, that I probably should finish. And then we'll do a 2026 TBR and book club. I want to do a book club. I don't really know how to do it. I've heard about Substack and things like that, or maybe we could do a YouTube live where we're discussing it. But I have made the decision that it's going to be Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. So if you like Game of Thrones, if you like medieval stuff, we're going to do that. And by we're, I probably mean me, because not a lot of people have talked about it, but whatever. If you want in on it and you made it all the way to the end of this, man, thanks for watching everything. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Keep reading. Talk soon.